cannot deliver in the interview about the different issues concerning wildlife, heritage, and you know, it's just an interview. You know, if I ask you, if you go to an interview and you actually don't know about the particular subject or the particular job description, then it is so obvious that you should not hold that office.
Right.
So if someone can go to probably a job interview for being a teacher and you cannot deliver, or you cannot say what CBC is, then it's the same way if you want to be a CS of wildlife and you cannot deliver on a few things about wildlife and the whole agenda, then you definitely are not fit to hold such an office. So I believe that is quite a legit reason for someone to be challenged for the nomination.
I don't know, Musyoki, just a minute for me to ask you. Of course, I need a rejoinder on this, because several times you've seen the bankers. You go to the bank and the people you meet there, if you make friendship with them, you learn that in their background, they have not even studied anything relating to banking. You find them, they are from different professions like teaching, you know. But then they are serving you in the banking sector. And of course, you will also find probably very good teachers, but they have not been to the, you know, teaching profession, but they are, I don't know, so we call them teachers by profession or something. So, you know, Malonza, you say that when you read her background, she has held very prominent key offices in public service. And in as much as yes, probably, she might have not been in line and rather in sync with the what wildlife entails, the problems or the challenges that are facing wildlife. Because I believe the people who are studying, who are in school pursuing courses related to wildlife, was probably she should be giving jobs to implement one or two things. Do you think probably whatever happened was just done for formality, that in a way, yes, the committee on appointment would have to probably disagree on one or two things?
I believe, you know, the question is not even about just her background, because as you've said, there's so many people who don't have a background in a certain profession, but they're actually so knowledgeable and they have the nitty-gritties of what it takes.
Right.
But here is someone who doesn't have the papers and still doesn't have the nitty-gritties, doesn't have the knowledge, you know. And one way I want us to understand this thing, or my personal opinion, is that this is a job.
Right.
And every job has a job description. You must know this. If you want to be a doctor, you must know how to inject. You get? So the moment you want to actually take hold or take charge of such a big office, someone must have some knowledge. Someone must be able to convince these members of parliament or convince Kenyans that you actually know the challenges and how to solve the challenges concerning that particular docket. So the moment someone doesn't have such knowledge, we have thousands of Kenyans who are knowledgeable, thousands of Kenyans who are proficient and are capable of actually delivering. So the issue is we should not fight for one person. There are thousands of Kenyans who are capable. If the MPs feel that she's not fit, then we can have other capable people come into that docket and deliver to the Kenyan people.
All right, interesting. Thank you so much, of course, for your insights, Solomon Musyoki. It's really been a while, and probably we should be having more and more of these discussions. Of course, we'll be discussing on this government mandate. It's good that you give very good insights, of course, in line with the government, because we understand you're a leader in the Kenya Kwanza government. Hoping, of course, probably in the near future, you also hold some of these big dockets in government. Thank you so much, Musyoki. All right, and moving away from that, appellants whose cases have been pending in courts for years have something to smile about after the announcement of the completed plans to put up the Court of Appeal building in Kisii County. The appellants, some currently serving jail sentences, will have the opportunity to be heard. Court will sit to their cases at the Kisii Law Courts from November 6th to 11th of 2022.
Law Society of Kenya, in collaboration with the Kisii County government, has launched plans to lay a law court that will comprise of a High Court, Court of Appeal, and a lower court. LSK Western Branch Chairman Gideon Nyambati disclosed that 4 judges and staff have been deployed to handle the appeal cases whose petitioners were spread over 6 counties.
We are expecting the President in charge of Court of Appeal Kisumu and his team of 4 judges to be present and their staff for the purpose of conducting. So we request all members of public, those who know of their loved ones in the prisons and awaiting their appeals, they'll be added here between 6th and 11th of November.
During the Legal Awareness Week, stakeholders in the administration of the justice system, including the LSK and judiciary, will attend to the residents' judicial cases free of charge. Gideon Nyambati said the stakeholders will also visit Kisii Main Prison and Manga Juvenile Remand Home to assess constraints obtained at the rehabilitation institutions.
The theme of this week is one, looking at the electoral laws and the reforms that have been done and how we're intending to build confidence to the future. That is the main message of this week. And on that basis, we have a few activities which we will do. Like on Friday, we're intending to visit the prisons and the Manga Juvenile Remand Home for the purpose of reaching to those who are in custody who may not be able to get services in open field where we are currently.
Elsewhere, the LSK Kenya chapter in Kiambu County also launched its annual Legal Awareness Week. The chairperson of the Kiambu chapter mentioned that the campaign is necessary as it assists the residents to get legal information and also advice. The awareness campaign is held every October and is free for the public to attend and consult with advocates and lawyers on any legal matters they may have. This awareness week, held after the elections, runs from the 24th to the 28th of October. Jeff Mwangi, KUTV.
Alright, let's now take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Now, the Standard Chartered has today announced the road closures from the 19th edition of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon, set for 30th October 2022. The start of the finishing points will be at Uhuru Gardens, Langata Road, where the runners are expected to use the scenic route on the southern bypass for the physical marathon, experiencing a great view of the Nairobi National Park.
To support the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon initiative, the Nairobi Traffic Department has created a schedule of road closures and detours that will redirect traffic to and from the southern bypass to alternate routes between 12 a.m. midnight and 1:30 p.m. on 30th October 2022.
So those who will be participating, they are well assured that their securities is well catered for.
The chairman of the local organizing committee, Peter Gitau, said that to protect the integrity of the event, the organizing committee is collaborating closely with the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, adding that they anticipate an inclusive, sustainable, and accessible marathon for all. The marathon has promised a total kitty of 10.6 million Kenyan shillings for winners in various categories, with winners in the full marathon bagging 2 million Kenya shillings each. Jacqueline Wanjiru, KUTV.
Now, the Boxing Federation of Kenya President Anthony Jamal Otieno has been elected the President of Africa Zone 3 Boxing Association. The former heavyweight Kenyan boxer overcame President of Congo Brazzaville Boxing Association Kodia Gaitan to claim the top seat following a decisive final vote that came after a tie of 5 votes each. Jamal now takes over from the current president of African Boxing Confederation, Bernard Menduga of Cameroon. And finally, Aston Villa have announced the appointment of Villarreal manager Unai Emery as the new head coach following the sacking of Steven Gerrard. The former Arsenal boss returns to the Premier League 3 years after parting ways with the London club. In a statement, Villa described Emery as highly experienced top-level coach whose success is evident in the various clubs he has managed. Among his notable success include the 2021 Europa League triumph against Manchester United, prior to which he had guided Sevilla to 3 successive Europa League titles between 2013 and 2016. His appointment is subject to the approval of a work permit, after which he will kickstart his journey with the Midlanders in November 1st. Alright, and with that, we call it a wrap here on KTV Primetime News. Many thanks indeed for a valid company throughout the bulletin, and of course special thanks to the whole team that were behind the production and running of this bulletin, starting from my director, Chairman Dominic, and of course on the TX you have Chief Alhaji, Director Martin, and other good friends, of course, who are good at what they do. Thank you so much for your valid company through the bulletin. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Makina Ching. My name is Omondi. Otieno, you have a great night.